Those special memories of you will always bring a smile. If only we could have you back for just a little while. Then we could sit and talk again, just like we used to do. You always meant so very much, and always will do too. The fact that you're no longer here will always cause us pain, but you're forever in our hearts until we meet again. I speak of Shannon-Lee Harding, better known to you all as Shan. I warmly welcome you as we gather to honour and indeed celebrate Shan's life. Also, a welcome to those who are unable to be with us today and are joining us by live stream. Your presence here, whether it be in person or by live stream, is so greatly appreciated. Our hearts reach out to Diane and Lani and their families. We think of you at this time and wish you courage and strength at this sad time in your lives. My name is Delma Carpenter, and along with Adrian and the staff at Parkside Funerals, we feel privileged to have been asked to conduct this service for you. Please, if you haven't done so already, now is a good time for you to turn your mobile phones onto silent. Thank you. I'd like to invite Lani to come forward to light a candle in honour of her sister. And we light this candle to symbolise that Shan's light will always shine. We cherish the special place in our hearts that will always be reserved for her. We thank her for the gift of living and love that was brought to each of us. Together today, we'll endeavour to bring together a celebration of Shan's life. We'll reflect on her simple approach to life, her personality and her character. So where do we start talking about Shan? If you knew her, it makes sense to start with a few F words. Firecracker, fun, friendly, frank, feisty and a fighter. But most importantly, her family. Family and her two cats, Millie and Luna, meant a lot to Shan. Shan had a happy nature, was fun to be around and had a good sense of humour. She was stubborn and strong-willed, and there was no swaying her if she made up her mind about something. And that's what people loved about her. Being upfront and honest, she was never afraid to speak her mind, and you certainly knew where you stood. But all that being said, Shan was set in her ways, a private person who kept to herself, and you could say a recluse. So how do we say goodbye to this special person? Sometimes life is just not fair, and this is one of those times. Yet if you want a story of courage, fight and determination, you need go no further than Shan. She was a fighter from the day that she was born. Sadly, Shan lost her fight, and I'm sure since that day you've all spent moments reflecting on your own special memories of her. Those memories, they may have brought smiles to your faces and maybe tears to your eyes. So we come to mourn Shan's passing, and I hope you can all derive some comfort from this day as we remember her and the wonderful memories that she leaves us with. To appreciate all the things that Shan did, things that she said that made you laugh, things that made you cry, and even the things that made you cranky. This is how you'll remember her, for that is what you're left with, the memories, the precious memories, and appreciation of the legacy that she leaves behind. Shan would be more concerned about all of you here today than herself, and I'm sure she would be comforted to see so many family and friends supporting those she loved the most. So let's now take a glimpse at Shan's life. It was midnight on the 18th of February 1979 at the Burney Hospital when Shan came into the world weighing just 2 pounds. Her parents, Gary and Diane, got to choose her birth date. Being born at midnight, it could either be the 18th or the 19th. Within 5 hours of being born, tiny little Shannon-Lee was flown to the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. She grew up in the Devonport area and was 4 years old when her dad died. Diane married again, and Shan was 6.5 years old and delighted when her sister Lani arrived. Although there was an age difference, Shan and Lani were a pair of little buggers. That's what Diane told me. At one time, Shan had a favourite stuffed toy called Lamsey and Lani a bear called Pandy. The girls would give acupuncture to their toys and then dob each other in for doing it. Shan attended Nixon Street Primary School and then Devonport High and on to Don College. She was 8 years old when diagnosed with neurotic syndrome, which caused swelling in her body, especially her legs. Shan had scarring on her legs from the edema and was never comfortable in a dress, always wore trousers. High school years was not an easy time for her, being teased about her legs by other students. Shan looked forward to the school holidays when she got to spend time with her father's mother, Nan Joy. I was told that Nan Joy taught her to swear. The family moved to Adelaide when Shan finished school, and her first job was at the Big W store, and throughout her work career she always worked for Woolworths. While working at the Big W, Shan met and made friends with Jen, and getting on well together, they shared a unit for a time where Jen kept her pet rabbits in the wardrobe. Wanting to be in a central location, Shan later made her home in a unit above the shops at Glenelg. 10 years on, and with Diane having already moved back to Tassie, Shan moved to Wynyard, living just around the corner from her mum. Being good at what she did and dedicated to her work, she commenced working for Woolworths in Wynyard and was still working there up until her passing. Listening to music was something that Shan really enjoyed, especially Roxette and the Beatles. Her choice of music did change over the years, but her love of the Beatles never wavered. She also liked to spend time watching movies on Netflix and Stan, as well as having a laugh at different comedy series. And wanting to understand things around the world, she enjoyed watching documentaries and kept herself up to date with the latest news and current affairs. Sometimes it'll be the little simple things that bring back so many memories of Shan, like how she liked online shopping and looked forward to the postman delivering parcels with her recent purchases. Some of her recent purchases have been a rose gold soda stream and a rose gold air fryer. She must have loved rose gold. How Shan loved food, and it didn't matter, but it didn't matter what, but it was better if someone else cooked it, especially her sister Lani, who was an excellent cook. And how she enjoyed just the simple things, a coffee or a herbal tea, and liked having a beer and a smoke with Rob out the back at Diane's. Family and her cats meant everything to Shan. Millie and Luna were her children, and some would say they lived at the Ritz, having their own water fountain and other cat luxuries. Shan adored her sister Lani and nieces Taylor and Alyssa, who live in Darwin, and although she didn't get to see them that often, she always kept in contact and was interested in what was going on in their lives. Her mum Diane was her rock. They were always there, loving and caring for each other in the good times and the not so good. Diane said it was such a surprise when just recently Shan wanted to take her for a drive. It was something that they never did. They had a lovely day travelling to Boat Harbour via Table Cape as well as down to Sisters Beach. Shan may have left our world, but will never leave the hearts and the minds of those who loved her. I'd now like to read some tributes for you. This one's from Diane. To my daughter, Shannon, from the night you were born, your life was a struggle. Born a prem and weighing 2 pounds, 2 pounds 5 ounces at the Royal Children's Hospital. Before I could bring you home that day, I was proud as a mum would be. 8 years old, and your next hurdle, you were diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome, months of treatment and specialist visits, but you fought on and you became stable, but your kidneys were damaged. As you grew up, you loved your books, music and TV, never one to party too much. Friends were for life if you loved them. You had your own views on certain topics and could never be swayed. You were stubborn and stood your ground. Your temper was like a firecracker, but we loved you. Shan, you lived your life as you wanted. Millie and Luna were a huge part of your life, and I respected your privacy. I didn't want a daughter who was a superstar. I loved my daughter who was funny, serious, stubborn, loving and caring, all the qualities that made you a unique daughter. Shan, I miss you already, sweetheart. The memories I will cherish forever in my heart. You had no airs or graces. You were you and always true to yourself, and I'm proud to be your mum. Love you always, Mumsy. And from Rayleigh, dearest Shan, you were one very special person to all that were lucky enough to know you as a friend, work buddy, and most importantly as a daughter, sister and auntie. I watched you grow from a gorgeous flower girl into an independent woman who always spoke her mind. One story I recall of you as a 6-year-old, you were staying with me for the weekend and we got up to go out for the day. I said, "So we're ready to go, Shan?" And she looked around and said, "Rayleigh, aren't you going to do your housework first?" My mummy always does hers first. We will all miss your beautiful smile, laugh and screwed up nose when telling a story, and even swear words added when people annoyed you. I'll miss your beautiful hugs, lots. Rest peacefully, sweetheart. And from Diane's friend in Queensland, Vicky. Hi sis, just want you to know that I'm thinking of you today, more than ever. We will find that time capsule and we will be super smart together. Love you to the moon and back, Vicky. And from the staff at Woolworths Wynyard, and I see that there's a lot of you here today. Once upon a time, there was a little person who sassied into Woolworths Wynyard, flipping her hair, swinging those hips and smiling that cheeky, funny smile that everyone grew to love. That was our little pocket rocket, Shan. She fit in amazingly and made many friends with both team and customers. Her quirky sense of humour, no nonsense, no crap attitude, won many hearts, as did her fierce loyalty to her friends and family. Shan said that her mum Diane was her rock, the only real constant in her life, and was prepared to step up and care for her beloved mum when transplant time came. We were always given updates on Diane's health. We knew if Diane was down, and so was Shan. Lani and her kids came to stay. Shan was so animated and could not wait to get home to them. Her love for them was also unlimited. We had decided that when we passed, the ideal life to come back as was one of Shan's cats. Wow. Automatic feeder, automatic toilet. What a life. We will miss your funny face, stubbornness and cheekiness. Love from your family at Woolworths Wynyard. See ya, Shanny Fanny. Rest in peace. Continuing with our celebration of Shan's life, we're now going to look at visual memories with a photo presentation while listening to Here Comes the Sun.
Going through the motions, ending up nowhere at all. Can see the sun on my wall. Going through emotions, ending up on a frozen morning with a heart not even broken. Seems I've been running all my life, all my life. Seems I've been running all my life, all my life, all my life, like watercolors in the rain. Find a place to settle down, job in a city nearby. I watch the trains roll on by. I find the fallen star. I fall in love with the eyes of a dreamer, and the dream worth believing. Seems I've been running all my life, seems I've been running all my life, like watercolors in the rain. Like watercolors in the rain, like watercolors in the rain.
I'd like to share a poem with you that the family have chosen for today. It's in your service sheet and you may like to follow along. It's called The Star. My time is up and no one knows why. I have so much to live for. I did not want to die. To say goodbye to all of you is something I'd want to do. I can't do that now, but I can leave some thoughts with you. Live your lives to the full, look after my family, I beg you from afar. Then look to the night sky and I'll be there, shining brightly from a star. I'll be the biggest and brightest star in the sky, and I'll shine above for you to see. So when heartache comes, just go for a walk, try to be strong like I'd want you to be. My light and my love will never dim on this, you can always rely. No matter where you are in the world, you'll see me as the brightest star in the sky. The family have asked me on their behalf to express their heartfelt thanks for your presence here today and the love and the support you have given them. They would also like to thank Elaine from Woolies for her care and being so supportive of Shan. Today we've had the opportunity of hearing about Shan's life, yet each person here will have their own story to tell, and that's why it's so important to get together after the service. So with this in mind, the family warmly invite you to join them here at Parkside for refreshments, and this is where you'll be able to share your stories with them. As we come to the final part of the service, let us be thankful and grateful for Shan's life, remembering the intangibles and the impact of her life on yours, remembering the significant moments and the fun times you had with her and the times as you as a family and friends supported her. Shan will always be with you. She'll be the whisper of the leaves as you walk down the street, the brightest star shining in the night sky, the smell of certain foods you remember. She will live inside your laughter. Nothing on earth can separate you, not time, not space, not even death. We're now going to have a quiet time, a time to reflect on Shan's life and for the family and friends to come forward to say their own personal goodbye by placing a flower on her coffin. time has come for us to say our final goodbye. Please stand if you are able. In grief of your death, but gratitude for your life and for the privilege of sharing it with you, we say goodbye. To everything there is a season, a time to every purpose on earth, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to mourn, and a time to rejoice. With love and appreciation, we commit the body of Shannon-Lee Harding to the purifying elements and ultimately to Mother Earth, from which all things come and to which all things in life return. Shan, your family loved you more than words can say. You will be missed by not only your family, but by everyone who was privileged to have known you. May you always walk in sunshine and the heavens around you flow. For the happiness you gave us, no one will ever know. It broke our hearts to lose you, but you didn't go alone. For part of us went with you the day you were called home. With love and respect, we sadly bid Shan farewell.